In a surprise marketing move, the Disney Parks YouTube channel dropped a full ride POV video of Tiana's Bayou adventure ahead of cast member previews and days in advance of the ride's upcoming media previews. The speculation is Disney is getting ahead of the curve by being the first outlet to show the masses what to expect inside this ride. And personally, I appreciate it, as one, I'm not very self-disciplined when it comes to avoiding spoilers, and two, this means everyone's getting the same access to preview the ride. A refreshing change of pace for Disney, in my opinion. And since Tiana's Bayou Adventure is using virtual queue for pass holder previews and the general public once it opens on June 28th, this means everyone's getting a shot to see it, since virtual queues means you have a chance to get on, but it's not guaranteed. Okay, so I've watched this POV video several times already. I definitely have some thoughts, and I'm hoping to point out a few things you may not have noticed. Some good, maybe some not so good. And as you probably already know, there are screens. Now, I want to preface this commentary / breakdown saying I've been looking forward to this attraction. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I've been following all the news, the construction, the updates. And I really like the Princess and the Frog movie and its music, and I've been confident that the Southern Bayou, New Orleans aesthetic, coupled with the 1920s timeline, would allow for some rich storytelling opportunities and atmosphere. And Tiana is a princess, but much of the film is an outdoor adventure with animal characters, so I feel like it ticks all the boxes on a great Disney experience. So, for better or for worse, I've had high expectations for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and my review is not an effort to rail against the replacement of Splash Mountain. Okay, so with that being said, let's hop aboard and get into the footage. So the video picks up at the top of this first hill. We're not far from the boarding area, so we're not missing much. Getting a great view of the backside of the water tower, and then a gentle splashdown into the bayou. We see cypress trees, 2 frog characters there on the left, and we're getting a great preview of the nighttime lighting package, which is something I've wanted to see and Disney has marketed pretty heavily. Along this fence, we see ingredients that goes into her gumbo. It's kind of planting seeds for her Tiana's Foods business. This banner also mentions that this party you're supposed to be going to is at the proud home of Princess Tiana and Naveen. I'm going to get more into that. That's a detail I didn't pick up on that I think is crucial to the finale. Also here, this video did not show this entire lift hill, and I was disappointed by that because the Walt Disney Imagineering video showed so much more of it, and it appears to be the warehouse for Tiana's Foods, and there's a lot of storytelling and world building that goes on there. Not sure why they skipped it for this one. Anyway, I digress. We see Lewis is digging in the garden, and I think these are gardens for Tiana's Foods. To be honest, this part is a little confusing to me because we just see like little garden patches, and then we see a ton of flowers. And while the flowers look great, I do like the flowers, I don't associate flowers and florals with the bayou, and then the gardens are just kind of intermingled here. Also, I will note this video, the audio was terrible. You can hardly hear the music or what the characters are saying. So I'm hoping I'm actually on the ride. What I'm hearing will be better and it will connect all these storylines together for me. So I don't want to be too critical of that just yet because I don't know. We get a view of Adventureland there. And then we're about to go down another little hill. Something I wanted to mention is that when you were on Splash Mountain, these beginning ride scenes were transitioning you from the human world into the animated world. So some of the blank spaces weren't as glaring, in my opinion, because you were transitioning into 2 worlds. That's something that this ride can't do because you start off in Tiana's world. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, moving now into the interior ride scenes. I kind of have Navi River Journey vibes here because how fluorescent everything is. It's almost like the nighttime lighting package is the same as the interior lighting package, maybe why they filmed this at night. And then we're seeing Lewis. And as we come around the corner here, you're gonna see our first musical Bayou Critter Band, and we're gonna see Princess Tiana. And notice in the background a lot of fireflies, also overhead. That's gonna play into the story from what I can tell here in just a second. I will note there are a lot of dark spaces on this ride. If you go back and watch Splash Mountain footage, that was not the case with that ride. The interior ride scenes were very well lit, very warm, very bright. The fact that it's so dark in this ride and there are so many like plants and foliage, it's a little kind of a lot of filler. So you have Lewis, Tiana, and more of the musical critters. Another animal band. We're starting to see more screens, and I'm going to get more into that. It doesn't bother me right now, it will later. More dark spaces, but there is Tiana up ahead.
All of them to play at the party, but we've got to keep searching high and low. How low can I
go? Okay, this is where my issues begin. We have a screen of Mama Odie up ahead. On Splash Mountain, Brer Rabbit would peek out of that little space, but now it's been replaced with a screen. And it seems that Mama Odie transformed us into a firefly, maybe a frog, not entirely sure. But as you can see, everything is giant. The leaves are giant. The frogs are now relatively our size. And up ahead, there are little like human items that have been collected. Go down another hill. And this would have been the laughing place scene from Splash Mountain. See, the jumping fountains are still intact. We have giant mushrooms, fireflies, and we're getting a view of Tiana and Lewis. And this is a screen, and I don't feel like it blends with anything. It's like Ray's family from the Princess and the Frog movie. Now this is the climactic lift hill, and this is where the vultures used to sit on Splash Mountain. And I love Mama Odie and Juju, but this isn't, I don't know, it's a screen and it doesn't blend with the auto animatronics and more of the physical, tangible set pieces. So not thrilled with that. And we have a new lighting effect as we go up the hill. There is the opening, and to your left there is a Mama Odie animatronic. Glad to see that. Not a lot happening with the glass bottles, but here we go. Here is the signature drop for Tiana's Bayou adventure. But we are now headed towards the finale scene. Up ahead there, that is Larry the Armadillo. He makes little cameos throughout the ride. But here he is holding a little floral umbrella. Now coming up here, this used to be on the right was where that waterfall would be, and if you got stuck, you would get wet. I don't know if that's on or not. I think it is, but it's hard to see. All right, now we're headed inside. That sign, I believe, has to do with marking this is Tiana and Prince Naveen's home. And here we are. And I do think this finale scene is an upgrade to the Splash Mountain finale scene. I think it looks fantastic. But that appears to be their house. I had thought this was going to be a finale at Tiana's restaurant, but I was wrong. I hope it goes slower because the finale is so fast. I'm hoping when you're actually on the ride, it'll move a lot slower so you can see more. Another screen over here to your right. You can't see Tiana's place there. Again, don't feel like it blends. And then we get another Mama Odie audio animatronic and Juju and a plate of beignets. I do like this. And that is it. Okay, so let's dig a little deeper, pun intended, into the good and bad of Tiana's Bayou adventure. So as for the good, the audio animatronics are mostly an upgrade. They look great, and I've been championing this for a while, but I love that Walt Disney Imagineering got to create original characters for the ride. Also, as mentioned, the finale looks fantastic. There's a lot happening. There's so much detail. I love the light and the use of color. I also like the opening scenes, especially the exterior bayou with the cypress and Spanish moss trees. As for the bad, here are my top 4 complaints. Number 1, lighting. It is so dark inside this ride, and while it was dark in the bayou in the movie too, in comparison to Splash Mountain, it just comes off as a little cheap and kind of like filler. I feel like all the grass, flowers, and foliage do as well. There's so much space where nothing is happening. It's just dark and there's plants. And as I said, there were a lot of blank empty spaces in Splash Mountain too. But it was textured and cavernous and ultimately added depth and was sprinkled with like little details about the animals. The blank spaces in Tiana's doesn't quite do that, unfortunately. Second complaint, disconnect. As for all the filler, it made the storyline kind of choppy, like you would see Lewis and then darkness, and then Tiana and then darkness. It was just hard to follow what was actually happening. I also feel like we start off with Tiana's foods and her business, which has my attention, but it's not clear how that serves her journey into the bayou with Lewis and then ends up with this big giant party. Not to mention the whole storyline where we are, I think, turned into fireflies or frogs. Again, hoping on-ride audio and the music will explain all this and tie it together for me. Third complaint is the anticlimactic drop. On Splash Mountain, you felt a sense of tension and dread as you slowly climbed up the drop hill to the signature drop. But on Tiana's, I think we're shrunk down, and then we're not, and then we're taking this drop, take a shortcut to the party. It just didn't feel like there was a sense of danger, just a random big thrill. My fourth and probably biggest complaint is the use of screens. This has been a big complaint with Universal rides for years and at times with Disney, but this may be, in my personal opinion, the most glaring use of screen reliance yet, mainly because it's not cohesive with the ride's physical sets and audio animatronics. I almost feel like the animation seen on the screens looks more like it belongs in Mickey's Filler Magic. It just looks cheap and anything but immersive. The fact they used it right before the big drop was especially disappointing to me. Now, as I've been saying, I'm hoping the music and ride audio change my opinion, and it's important to note we haven't seen any of the ride's queue. Disney attraction queues often do a lot of the important legwork in setting up a ride story, so really this POV video is only giving us a slice of the narrative Imagineering has cooked up for Tiana's Bayou adventure. Also, the camera used to capture this footage appears to have been mounted to the ride vehicle, and because it wasn't turning or panning to show everything that was happening. Plus, watching an on-ride video is different than actually riding it yourself. Movement does so much for a ride experience, and ride storylines are often designed with the idea that you are moving in mind. So what I'm saying is, I can't give my fully informed opinion until I've been in a log on the ride myself. However, I am confident that I will still have problems with the amount of darkness and filler, and especially the use of screens. I'm interested to hear whether others will share my opinion, especially once guests are able to ride in the coming days. So please stay tuned for more Tiana's Bayou Adventure news, reviews, and more from Walt Disney World in the coming weeks. June is a huge month for the parks, and I plan to be there to cover as much as I can. So if you did enjoy this video and like reviews, breakdowns, park vlogs, and more, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm a travel and entertainment reporter with a particular passion for the Disney parks, and I love sharing news about my magical home away from home and my travel adventures with you. Regardless, I so appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope you have a magical day.